Hello everyone. Yes, we are a group of three people. The first one is Julie Douillet. The second one is Fanuel. And the last one, but not least, is myself, Olivier Herman. Nice to meet you guys. So, we're gonna to show you a famous building which is located in the center of London. We call it the Gherkin, a really famous building. And we're gonna tell you the story of that building. And we get here the table of contents. For the introduction, we're gonna tell you why we choose this topic and how we find it. And after that, it's gonna be the historic of the Gherkin. Also the location. We got funny facts, 7. We've got also the size of building and its utility, the conclusion, and in the end, the bibliography. Here we got why we choose this topic and how we find it. At the first time, we needed to find a topic, so we type in Google search bar suppository building, and we found that famous building, the Gherkin, which is also called the Pickles of London. As you can see on this picture, just here, this is the Pickles, and here it's the same Pickles, the Gherkin Pickles. The beginning of the Gherkin's birth starts in 1992 as an explosion rocked the financial district of London. A bomb planted by an extremist group called IRA exploded near the Baltic Exchange and catastrophically injured the building. The building was torn down and city officials decided to put a larger tower in its place. The Gherkin began as a much larger building that was dubbed the Millennium Tower, but which failed to materialize. The original design of the building raised fears that it could negatively impact air traffic from Heathrow, which is the airport of London. There were also concerns that it may interfere with the sight lines of St. Paul Dome from certain parts of the city. Once the original design was shut down, Norman Foster created the scaled-down version that now sits at 30th Street Mary Axe. Construction began in 2001 and the Gherkin was finished in December 2003. It didn't open for the public until almost half a year later. The architectural firm is Foster plus Partner, and the client for whom the building is delivered is Swiss Re. The Gherkin is located in the heart of London's financial centre, designed to have a gradually diminishing form and with a host of eco-friendly glass skin covering it. It is visited by around 30 people every 10 minutes, who walk inside the building for a maximum of 20 minutes before another group goes in. Anyway, if you want to visit it, you have the address right here.
The first picture represents the lifts in the Gherkin. Its high-powered lifts are capable of transporting 378 people at a time, at speed of 6 meters per second, so around 29 km per hour. But if you prefer, you can take the stairs, but they are 1,000 37 steps in each of building stairwells. The second picture is the restaurant. It's one of London's highest lounge bar and restaurant, and it's situated at the top of the building. Sadly, they are only opened for the tenants and their guests. Its name is the Circe's Restaurant and Bar, and it takes up the top 3 floors of the building for a pretty impressive panoramic view. Circe's is the private member club, but during the day, the restaurant is available to employees of the building. It's the cover of the Gherkin. There is 24,000 square meters of exterior glass, or the equivalent of 5 football fields. But just a single piece of sculpted glass, and it's the lens at the top. The Gherkin is intricately structured into 6 skylights with 792 mechanized windows behind the building's dark spirals to help naturalize throughout the building. This picture, you show how the Gherkin is high. This building is over 3 times the height of Niagara Falls. The fifth picture is the story about this glass, who is fell. In April 2005, a large window popped out of the skyscraper and fell 28 stories to the ground, prompting rigorous checks and questioning the sustainable credential of the tower. The sixth picture represents the grave of a young Roman girl, which was discovered during the early stage of construction. The girl was preserved at the Museum of London while the building was constructed and then rebuilt at the base of the tower on completion. The seventh is to show you they have needed over 35 of steel was used to construct the Gherkin. 10 years later, we are always impressed by the quantity steel necessary for construct this building.
Hello, I'm Herman. I will tell you about the size and purpose of this building. This building helped to define a modern, open and progressive image of one of the oldest financial centers in the world. It has set a benchmark for the architectural quality of a new generation of large buildings. Its dimension and characteristic oval shape make it unique in the world of construction, giving it a rocket or Gherkin appearance. With a base measuring 49 meters on the windlass part measuring 56 meters, this shape gives an average surface area per floor of 1,400 square meters. According to the architect, and as shown in photos 1 and 2, this shape favors the circulation of the wind around the facade. This reducing the pressure on the structure and preventing the wind from moving toward to the ground level. This shape also allows the entrance of natural light to be optimized, this improving the circulation of the air, taking an advantage of the natural ventilation of the spaces. This is possible thanks to a series of 6 pipes per floor that allow the building to be cold in summer and heated in winter. The microclimate management, therefore, allows for 50% reduction in energy consumption costs. This shape also allows an optimization of the space, giving only 3% of closed spaces without any view to the outside. For the construction of this building, 10,000 tons of steel were used, of which 29% corresponded to the diagonal structure grid, 24% to the central columns, and 47% to the beams. In the foundation, beams with a diameter of 750 millimeters were used, which were driven directly into the London Day, making a total of 333 piles. We can therefore draw the conclusion that building shows you the reborn as a phoenix of the resistant attacks and terror of states caused by political administration as ERA. It also shows you the excessiveness of architect and certainly that human behind. This building has thus become, by its size and particularity, one of the most important bank icons in London. The Gherkin took advantage of the perception of risk to generate profit, promote economic growth, and increase design expertise. I will finish this commented slideshow with the bibliography. If you like this subject, you can find all the documentation used below. Many thanks for listening.